I think Pep has fallen for the old star name syndrome we suffer from at United and slightly disrupted his well-oiled machine, says Nick P. And that's a very interesting point because I do think that the signing of Grealish was odd, although I was very excited about it. I thought spending £100 million on Jack Grealish, who doesn't necessarily suit a Pep system, was very interesting. And I think this season is the year that we'll really understand whether Grealish is going to be a success at Manchester City or not. And I've spoken about that many times before. But it's very hard to judge a player on 45 minutes because ultimately he might not be judged for another 2 seasons. You know, Fabinho's first season at Liverpool wasn't fantastic, and he's an absolute fantastic player for them now. I'm not going to say that Erling Haaland doesn't suit Pep Guardiola, but I think what I would say is he is a Norwegian Lukaku. He is now christened Timo Haaland, and he is the biggest flop of the Premier League history, and he's also a Norwegian Andy Carroll. But on a serious note, what I would concede is I would have took Haaland in a heartbeat at Manchester United any time in the last 3 years. So I'm not going to suddenly say he's a load of crap just because he's gone to our rivals. But what is very abundantly clear, and anybody who knows anything about Haaland's style of play, is that this is going to be a work in progress. And some people might not like that, but he may still win the Golden Boot and be a work in progress because he can have issues with playing in a team that's playing a low block where there's lots of possession. He can have issues with his first touch. He can have issues with his positioning. But you'll still expect to score a lot of goals in that Man City side. And I do think that Pep has to look at Haaland as a project because what Haaland has to become in a Man City side is a striker that can hold the ball up, link the play up, control that ball, and become an all-round striker. And he can do those things. Like, it's not like he was playing for Burnley. You know, he's been playing for Dortmund, who had Jadon Sancho in the team and many other good footballers. There has been link-up play. They're not just a team that hit teams on the break. So 100% Haaland can do it, and Pep obviously believes he can do it. But, you know, we saw things in the in that first half there where maybe his link-up play wasn't that good. Maybe his first touch wasn't that good. And they're things that he's going to have to work on. But I still think he'll be a major success. A full pre-season for Luis Diaz will make him even better than he was last season. Well, as it's, you know, Mane's a big loss for Liverpool, but Diaz can play that position. And if Nunez offers you something different, you know. Hi, Mark. Was Grealish really worth the 100 million? No, he wasn't, Tropic. And look, Jack Grealish could end up being a success at Manchester City, but he was never worth 100 million pounds. The only reason he went for 100 million pounds is because Villa put that price on him, thinking no one else would pay it, and Man City did. The Ray says, whilst better than most, do you think Pep has a thin squad given 5 subs, letting players go like Sterling a risk? Look at the bench. I'm really surprised that they've let 3 players go and then they've let them go to Premier League opposition. I think that I suspect there may be another signing for Man City, or Pep's got confidence in something. It may be a younger player. Obviously, Alvarez is still there. But what would really surprise me with Man City is if Jesus goes, Sterling goes, and Bernardo Silva goes, which is reported to be happening. Now, you'd think that Man City would be in a position to keep Bernardo Silva, but apparently he's adamant that he wants to go to Barcelona. So potentially that they just go for De Jong. I don't know. But, you know, it is a transitional Man City side this season. I think any Man City fan would admit that. It doesn't mean that they're not going to win the league and the Champions League, but it will be a transitional season for them because things are changing at Man City. Do you think Haaland will run well with Pep? People having a lot of fun typing Haaland is crap, knowing full well they would cut off their right arm to have him in their team, says Laz. Well, you got to be very careful what you say because Darwin Nunez missed a couple of chances against United on the opening pre-season game. And then didn't he score a hat-trick in another game? So, look, these players, I would love Haaland at Man United. I would have loved Darwin Nunez at Man United. They've gone to two of the best teams in the world, and I think both of them will succeed. But they will also be ridiculed when they miss big chances. Ronaldo missed chances last year, and that's the whole point. I mean, that's what football is. That's football banter, isn't it? That's exactly what football is. You know, I used to go and watch games, and as a kid, and I'm sure many of you did as well. And you know, when the goalkeeper used to run up and kick it, this was probably a late 80s, early 90s thing. When the goalkeeper was doing a goal kick, they'd go, "Oh, your shit." You know, it's just banter. That's what it is. And when one of the world's best strikers misses a sitter, you banter them. That's what you do. The key is to not miss many of them and score a lot more. So yeah, I think he's. I am on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. A lot of people talking about Fabrizio and Sesko, and I'll be talking about that at 8 o'clock. A far-fetched question: can Haaland beat Shearer's record for the Premier League goals? He won't be there long enough, Summerjit. Erling Haaland, although things could have changed with the death of Mino Raiola, I still think the plan for Erling Haaland is to emulate Zlatan, or do more than Zlatan. But I think Erling Haaland will move every 3 years. Obviously, he's done the Norwegian league. You know, that's always on the list of top players. But no, he's done the Norwegian league. He's done Salzburg. He's now done the Bundesliga. He's in the Premier League. I think he will do La Liga, and I think he will do Serie A. And by then, he will be maybe into his early 30s, and then maybe he'll repeat a league again. Maybe he'll come back to the Premier League. So I don't think I'll be stunned if Erling Haaland's at Man City for any longer than 3 seasons. I think he is destined to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid next, and that's the career path. And yeah, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't do that. So I don't think he's breaking any Premier League goal scoring record, because I don't think he'll be in the Premier League long enough. You have to remember, Jesus and Sterling contributed to 45 goals last season for City with goals and assists. They have to replace that, and it's not an easy thing to do, says Spirits One. I don't think it is. I was talking about this before the game. I mean, I'm convinced that Liverpool, I mean, you look at these chances from Haaland, he's got to go right-footed on both of them. Why he's going left-footed, I'm really surprised. And Pep will be going on at him. He said, like, you are not one-footed, mate. You can score goals with your right foot. Why are you not using your right foot? That one especially. What's he going with his left foot for? I'm really surprised, because I've seen a lot of Haaland over the years, and he can use his right foot. And I don't know whether it's a confidence thing or he just wanted to make sure, but the right-footed shot on both of those was the right place to do. Fair point, but City don't usually lose players, says Summerjets. Also, do you still want to... I'm not know what you're on.